Okay, here's question number 6. The diagram below shows two circles, one with a radius 3, one with a radius 5, and the center and there are 6 centimeters apart. So this length from there to there is 6. This is the radius, so that's 3. And this is the radius, and that's 5. Okay, and you want to find this shaded area. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be thinking of, well, so first of all, I'm going to, just like in the previous problem, we're going to be focused on trying to find this kind of area of the with the sector and removing the triangle. So if I only have that smaller circle, okay, if I only had that smaller circle and I drew a triangle from here to here, then if I'm trying to figure out this portion area, then let's focus on B first, the area. The perimeter should be pretty easy. But to find this area, I need to find the area of the sector and the area of the triangle and subtract the two from each other. But in order to do any of this, I need to figure out this angle right here. Okay, so I'm going to redraw this triangle here. Okay, we know that's 3. We know that's 5. We know that's 6. I'm going to call this angle alpha. So in order to find angle alpha, I'm going to have to use the law of cosine. So using the law of cosine, I'm going to use the formula that's already rearranged for the angle. So I'm going to use this guy right here. Okay, so cosine C A squared plus B squared minus C squared over 2AB. So I'm going to say cosine alpha equals 3 squared plus 6 squared minus 5 squared divided by 2 times 6 times 3. Okay. This number here is always the one that's farthest away across from the angle that we're trying to find. Okay, so if I type this into my calculator, then I end up with cosine alpha equals 0.555 repeating. And then to figure out alpha, we know that it's the inverse cos of that decimal. So if I type in second cos 0.55 repeating, we get 0.9817. 0.9817. Okay, so that's this angle here. Now, notice we've got two identical triangles. They're back to back. So this whole angle here, I have to multiply it by 2, right? So this angle here is going to be it's going to be 2 alpha, so because I have to multiply it by 2. So that angle there is, if I multiply that by 2, I get it's 1.96 radians. Okay, so let's just use another color. So this angle right there is 1.96 radians. Okay, so now let's find the area of the circle. So the area of the sector is equal to 1/2 sorry. Okay, so the area of the sector is 1/2 the radius squared times the angle in radians. So 1/2 the radius squared, which is 3, and the angle in radians is 1.96. I did this before, it's 1.963, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and so that sector area is 8.836 centimeters. And the area of the triangle is 1/2 this side and this side, so 3 and 3, and sine of this angle 1.96 radians. All right, using this formula here for the area of a triangle, 1/2 this side times this side times sine of that angle, this side times this side times the sine of that angle, and then that area of this triangle is 4.157 centimeters. So I subtract those from each other, and the area shaded is equal to, if I subtract those, I get 4.678 centimeters. Well, this should be squared. Oops. Okay, so that's the area of this pink region. Okay, now we got to do the same thing on the other side, this circle right here. So if I've got this other circle right here, and from there to there is 5. Okay, and I want to find this area here. I'm going to color it blue. Okay, so I want to find this area right there. So just like before, I have to do the area of the sector minus the area of the triangle, and we need to figure out this angle right here. I'm going to call it beta, right? So I want to find this angle here, beta, and we know that this is going to be 2 beta because this is beta also. So we're going to have to use the law of cosine to figure that one out as well. So I'm going to say cosine beta is equal to 5 squared plus 6 squared minus 3 squared divided by 2 times 5 times 6. Okay, so if I put that into my calculator, I end up with cosine beta equals 0.8667. If I've plugged this into my calculator. When you're putting it into your calculator, make sure you put this in parentheses, and make sure you put this in parentheses before dividing, otherwise you're probably going to get a order of operations mistake. And then I do inverse cos, and then I get the beta angle is equal to 0.5223. Okay, so this is going to be twice that. So we know that 2 beta, if I multiply that by 2, is equal to, so multiplying this value times 2 is going to give me 1.0446 for this angle right there. Okay? So now that I know that angle, I can find the area of the sector. And the area of the sector is 1/2 5 squared times 1.0446. And so the area of the sector equals 13.0575. Okay, and now the area of this triangle is equal to 1/2 5 times 5 times sine of that angle, 1.0446. And if I plug that into my calculator, I get 10.81. Okay, so to find this shaded area, I'm going to subtract the two. So the area of the shaded, 13.0575 minus 10.81. Subtract those two, and I'm going to get that the area shaded equals 2.2475. So that's this blue area shaded. So to find this total area shaded, I'm going to add the pink area and the blue area together. So 4.678 plus 2.248. Add those together, and I get 6.92 centimeters squared, and that is the area total of the shaded space. Okay. Now let's do the perimeter. Okay. Now that we've got our angles, we can do this fairly easily, because we know for perimeter is equal to length times it's equal to the radius times the angle, right? So this pink perimeter is equal to, the radius is 3, and that angle there was 1.96, and the other radius was 5, and this angle here was 1.0446. So I add those all together. This is going to give me 5.88. This is going to give me 5.223, and I add those together, and my perimeter is 11.1 centimeters in length. And that's how you do number 6.